Today's episode is brought to you by ModCloth, Hint, and HelloFresh. To get 15% off your purchase of $100 or more, go to modcloth.com and enter code BRAINCANDY at checkout. This offer is valid for one-time use only and expires on February 2nd, 2019. To receive 36 bottles for $36, visit drinkhint.com/braincandy and use promo code BRAINCANDY. And for $20 off each your first 3 boxes for a total of $60 off, visit HelloFresh.com/BrainCandy60 and enter promo code BrainCandy60. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Like a Kool-Aid.
We are here. Oh, yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Susie, how are you?
Well, it's episode 270, and I am happy to be here with you.
Oh, thank you.
How are you?
Gorgeous today.
Likewise. We're getting better every day.
Like a fine wine.
I mean, remember like a couple years ago when Evan texted us and was like, when did you two get hot?
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh, I should remember that moment.
Well, we posted it on Instagram, so you can go ahead and scroll right back to
I'm
that
going
text
to.
exchange.
We are good looking.
Because you said we're like a fine wine. That was your response.
I see.
At the time.
Not much has changed.
But like, why did he say that? We should actually think about it now, 2 years later.
I have been told, like the ugly duckling thing, you know, like,
Me too.
oh my God, once the worst thing. Dunbar, you know him from the show? Mm-hmm. He once came up to me at a challenge and said, you know, you'd be like a 10 if you just tried a little.
He didn't.
And I think that meant like go to the gym more. And I was like, you have no idea how hard I'm trying.
Right, joke's on you.
Yeah. I guess he meant like do some makeup.
Off.
Yeah, put on some makeup. Like maybe in the challenge house I like actually, you know, it's so funny. As soon as there's a camera there, I do nothing. I want to put zero work into
That's
everything.
why you and I privately last week were talking about how like different people that are getting work done and like how I was like, that makes me so sad. And you're like, why? Who cares? Like whatever we need to do. And I'm like, because they're doing it because people like dumbass Dunbar.
Right. That's totally true.
It's not because they were just like, hey, I need a zhuzh. They're like, oh, I'm inadequate because this douchebag thinks I'm not trying hard enough.
It was like years after being off the show that I was like, maybe I'll get some work done. Maybe I'll get some Botox.
But like, I don't understand where that his belief that he was in the position to give you advice on how to be a 10 comes from, aside from just being a white straight man.
Was he trying, is there a compliment? That's what I'm thinking, that maybe that he like couldn't tell me, like, I don't know, you're a 9.5?
I've always said that living in that house is like opposite world.
Yeah, it is.
And it really messes the women up, I think.
Oh my gosh.
And it makes me sad because I'm like, you guys look great.
Yeah.
Everybody.
For real.
Y'all look great.
Yes.
Anyway, fuck him.
Yeah.
He's the worst.
Everybody
fuck Linda.
Great. Yeah.
I guess I'm in a mood. I didn't know I was.
I love you in a mood.
I didn't know I was, but maybe Sarah's witchy powers are like...
she is wearing all black, people.
Yeah. Maybe it's like a thing where like when you wear black, then you like...
You feel like...
Doom and gloom.
Doom and gloom.
Okay. Well, anyway... Anything you want to start with?
Yeah, I'm like, feel like speaking of doom and gloom, I got something that I read recently. So I went on like a word, like a deep dive into words and like definitions and things like that. And I was on Merriam-Webster's blog, and they have some really cool articles on there. And they introduced, it was like words to watch or phrases to watch, things like that. And it introduced me to this phrase, or what they called it, a word, but 2 words, called final girl. It's like a trope in horror films. Are you familiar with this?
Never heard of this.
Right? And neither had I. And I'm like, ooh, I love a good trope. So this, right? I totally do. So this is all about the final girl that's left in a horror film.
Okay.
And how she's very... Okay, now I have to pull up exactly what it says about her because it's really interesting to hear what...
I'm already mad. I don't know why.
You should be, because that's kind of how it is. So it's all about, it's really like she's supposed to be the living embodiment of stereotypical conservative attitudes of what a woman should be. So it's like the woman who's left
Traditional
at the very
femininity.
end of the horror film. And it's like the last character to be alive. She's usually the one who confronts the killer. And there are a whole bunch of, well, here, I'll just read them to you. So, especially, she's always female. She's almost certain to be a virgin. She remains fully clothed through the whole movie. She avoids death by sex or some sort of like proposition for that. She probably won't drink alcohol, smoke tobacco, or do any drugs either. And she'll probably turn out to be more intelligent and resourceful than other victims.
This is terrible.
And she also is usually, but not always, brunette, often in contrast to the promiscuous blonde that traditionally gets killed off.
Oh my God.
And then if there's ever a sequel to the horror movie, she's going to be the one who's in it, and she's also going to be the one to die in one of the early scenes. They like take this girl and use it. So the reason why this is a trope in horror films, what they were saying, this one feminist like movie historian was doing studying this at an academic level with, peer-reviewed journals, all that kind of good stuff. And she was talking about how they use a female because they need that character to be involved in the most climactic, horrific part of the movie that causes the most terror. And men don't like seeing a man in that role. They can't get to that place where it seems really terrifying. The man looks weak if he's in that place where he's really scared and terrified. So men can't relate to that character as well. So they put a woman in there because a man can relate to something being terrifying if the woman's the most terrified.
Why does she have to be all those other things, though, like brunette and
I think
virginal?
it's because it's supposed to be like this ideal, like she's not promiscuous. She's not, it's that first thing I said about it's like the stereotypical.
It's weird, though, because she confronts the killer and, like, kind of saves the day. You'd think that it would be a feminist icon like Buffy.
Well, they say, on the other hand, feminists have noticed that through this device, the males in the audience are forced to identify with a woman in the climax of the movie. In practical terms, the makers of horror films want the victim to experience abject terror in the climax and feel that viewers would reject the film that showed a man experiencing such terror.
Jeez.
So, like, it's both hands. You can kind of see the feminist side of it, and you can kind of see the. It's just interesting.
I guess so.
Yeah, I like that.
It's weird. The final girl trope.
Yeah, and it's like I started thinking about horror. Scream.
Right. Who's
Halloween.
the girl? Who's the
they
girl
have
though in that?
Sydney.
Is that the
one
Neve
at the very
Campbell?
end. And then she's in the second one, and then they kill her off, don't they?
Probably.
Yeah.
She had
so
it
it's
coming.
like something. Oh gosh, so funny.
My God!
I love all those movie trope things.
Well, I mean, the final girl to wear Rothy's apparently was Meghan Markle.
Oh my gosh!
Did you see?
Yes, and everybody's tagging us and being like, "Oh, you guys were on that trend first."
As soon as I saw the picture of her in those flats, I was like, "Oh, I know those flats."
Yep.
Because those are the shoe.
I know.
If Meghan Markle is looking adorable in flats, now you know what we say is true.
You're welcome, people.
You're welcome.
Just listen to us.
Right? No.
We know. We've already done all the research.
Rothy's are stylish and they're sustainable because they're made from recycled plastic and they're comfortable, but royalty can wear them. They have different styles. She was wearing the point flat.
The black ones.
And then there's the regular flat, the loafer. Now they have the sneakers. They have all different colors and patterns so that you can get like real cute designs. And you can throw them in the wash.
Yep, I did.
Which is my
for
favorite.
The first time. Loved them.
Yeah.
I was like nervous. And then they came out. I was like, why was I even nervous? These are great. And they dry in like 2 seconds.
And it's like good as new. We love our Rothys. We know you will too. If Meghan Markle does, what do you want? Right now, Rothys has an amazing deal for our listeners. Use code BRAINCANDY to get free shipping, no minimum. Go to rothys.com, ROTHYS.com, and enter Brain Candy to get your cute shoes and free shipping. No brainer. Shoes that are comfortable, stylish, and sustainable, and free shipping. Get yourself a pair today, rothys.com. Promo code Brain Candy. Get the deal while it lasts. Sarah keeps using it for all her friends.
I know.
Has anyone ever given you shoes as a gift?
No.
Well, your husband did.
Oh, yes, he did.
But, like, I've never gotten shoes from anyone.
Right.
And besides my husband. And, like, that would be so funny.
Yeah.
But do they love it?
They loved them.
Okay, good.
Both of them.
All right. That's acceptable.
Well, one I gave a gift card to, and one she's just busy, and I was like, I'm just going to get them for her. I know what she'd like.
I don't know how you know their shoe size.
I asked, first, one of them I asked her husband, and then he was like, I don't know, I think
smart.
she's like an 8. And then I was like, I don't trust that. And then I asked her, and she's a 9.5. And I was like, good thing I did that.
She probably told him she was an 8. You know how women lie about their
Well,
shoe
she did
size?
say, she said, now I'm a 9.5. And I think, because your feet grow when you have children. So I think her feet grew because of kids.
Jamie Foxx used to talk about how before he was famous, he was a shoe salesman.
Oh, yeah.
And he said that he would always underestimate the shoe size on purpose because women loved it. He'd be like, what are you, like a 6? And they'd be like, I'm an 8.5. Oh
It's
my
like
God.
when they say, oh, are you a small? And I'm like, oh, a medium to large. But thank you.
Medium to large. You aren't even anyway, but that's a funny.
If I'm shopping at Forever 21, yes, I am.
Well, that's true. That's true. What do we have to do to get uniform size?
You're right.
We've already complained about this. We're redoing our complaints now.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. That actually, the horror thing brought up how I read about, there's a guy named Jason Blum who's sort of now like the go-to horror guy. He produced Get Out.
Oh, so good.
Terrifying. And I think the new Halloween that's
people are loving it.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he's being criticized because all of his horror films, I think 100%, but maybe just most, but almost all of them are directed by men. And then in an interview, he said, it's like, because we can't find any women.
Oh, yeah,
and
right.
that makes me so
That's
mad.
such a lie.
It is a lie.
It just means that whatever you're using, the pool that you're pulling from, my mom was in the film industry. They hire who they know.
Yeah.
And if it's a boys club and everybody knows boys, they're going to keep hiring those guys.
That, even like as a small business owner myself, like it's very easy for me to find white women and men to do the job. If I want people of color, I have to make a little more effort.
Yeah.
And so that's been on my mind. Like if I need to hire someone, I'll think, okay, I need to make a purposeful and intentional effort to include people of color and other minorities. And like these guys just don't want to do that because it's
like, I guess there's nobody.
Yeah. I can't find them anywhere. They're hiding.
Yeah.
And let's say that were true, then do something about it.
Right.
Fostered new talent, quit it.
I feel like they're out. Yeah, you got to look.
Did you read the article about how, how when you're on Netflix, they show you an ad, but it's not going to be the same probably ad as maybe they would try to promote to me. And it's, in my case, it's often comedy. What do they
on Netflix?
Yeah, at the top.
Oh,
the big,
the top. Oh,
what do they usually want you to watch? Is it like documentaries? Or
sometimes. Oh God, a lot of that murder stuff that I love.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of those kind of documentaries. Then I went on a kick for a while where I liked any kind of 90s throwback stuff.
Okay.
So,
like what?
Like there's this great, it's a recent show, but it's called Everything Sucks. And it's about the 90s. And I freaking loved it. And then Mortified, I like those Mortified diaries. So it was a lot of that kind of flashback to a,
simpler time.
Simpler time.
Okay.
Before smartphones.
Some people are saying though that for certain films and shows like Love Actually, Good Cop, which I'd never heard of, and then a show called Set It Up, that the image will be different depending on race.
It totally is.
Why? Why do you say that?
Oh my God, because there's something that Landon and I both like, and the screen. Oh my God, yes! I'm so glad you have this information. But we're different genders, and it was a different image. What show was it? It was definitely geared towards women, like a female audience, the one that was on my screen and the one that was on his. It was Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
Oh my God.
It was a more masculine image for the Queer Eye for the Straight Guy ad at the top for Landon's, because I think we went on his and watched a few episodes, and then I also watched it on mine, and it was like pink and red, and it was like
They claim, though, Netflix says it is not, they don't target based on, they don't even know, they say they don't know your race. They only target based on what you watch.
Right.
So it will tend to know probably that you're interested in more female whatever content.
And it's what you watch and what
Do you object to that? Or because I don't care, but some people are annoyed by it.
Well, it's, because I follow a lot of people of color on Instagram, and I really I just, I I like every, thing. And that's kind of, I think Instagram doesn't know what race I am. Because I'll go on kicks where like for a while I'll like go down the like explore hole of like Japanese men's fashion, or like then it'll go into like Japanese tiny foods, and then it'll think like all of a sudden I think I'm like an Asian male, God, and then so like advertising like Supreme and stuff like that, and then for a while I'll follow like anyone, I would like who did I start following? Tracy Ellis Ross, and then what's her name? Who I love, who always wears black and white, and she's a musician, and she's so amazing.
Is she a woman of color?
Yes. Monet.
Janelle Monáe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Janelle Monáe. Oh my God, I freaking love her music so much.
Yeah, she's really pretty.
Yep. And, just like and it gets confused.
I bet.
Uh-huh.
You really, you bend a lot of rules.
Yeah.
Gender, sexuality, race.
Yep. Because I'm like, I like if it's
cool,
I like
hair
it.
Even.
Yeah, and that's I think what I started really following a lot of curly hair, like product.
That's so
I
great.
like
I'm
all
jealous.
those videos.
I wish it would think I was Jewish. That's what I want.
Oh, what did I follow for that?
I don't know. I feel like I follow a lot of Jewish folks, but they really think I want to see Kardashian content. And I don't.
Oh, I did go on a kick where I was Googling like lip fillers for a while. And I then definitely thought I wanted to follow the Kardashians.
Well, I don't follow
Not
lip
Googling
filler
it, but
content.
like I was looking at that hashtag because I was like, well, I want to see what's out there for that. And I got a lot of Kardashian stuff that week.
Oh my God.
Interesting.
Well,
so they claim that they're not doing that, huh?
They claim that it's just based on your past viewing.
Well, that is true.
I mean, okay. But what they should know that I do love is ModCloth clothing.
Yeah.
We have been talking about it forever. It is getting cold. Mm-hmm. Less so here in the West, but still, I've been turning on the fire. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, that's lovely.
I'm serious every morning.
Curl up in one of your ModCloth little jackets.
Yep. It falls in full swing at ModCloth. And, you can curl up in a sweater. They've got you covered with cozy essentials, cute knits that won't quit. If you're feeling festive, they have a holiday gift guide, and then they have like the party boutique where you can pick like cute dresses.
Oh, that's
for like,
cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, then I don't have to sort through the other dresses. Like,
Lots
just
of
give me the ones
velvet.
that are. Oh yeah, that's what I'm wearing today.
Yes, very cute. And they have a full range of sizes, so they celebrate all women. I got a velvet skirt that I'm going to be wearing over the next few months. And it's just a really easy site to navigate. And now you can get 15% off your purchase of $100 or more. Go to modcloth.com. That's ModCloth.com and enter our code BRAINCANDY at checkout. And the offer is valid for one-time use only and expires on February 2nd, 2019. So to get that 15% off of your purchase of $100 or more, go to ModCloth.com and enter code BRAINCANDY. But speaking of the Kardashians,
yes.
What did you think about the recent Kendall Jenner controversy? It was in, I think, Vogue. And
I don't know about it.
It was just the other day, and they had teased out her hair, and people claimed that it was cultural appropriation because it was an afro.
I'm gonna have to see
look
this.
at it. Look at the pictures. See what you think.
Yep.
It was trending on Twitter, and like a lot of people were like, "Excuse me, Vogue, like just hire women of color. Don't hire Kendall Jenner and then like tease her hair so that it looks like I don't know what you'd even call that look. It just looks like a rat's nest more than an afro."
I'm gonna have to see that. Okay, Vogue entangles over Kendall.
Entangles.
Yeah, that's it. What it says.
That's the one.
Over Kendall Jenner. Oh.
And I want to know what your opinion is about this.
To me, she almost looks more like the women in, what's his name? He's an artist from the 20s, and he did that Art Deco.
Oscar Wilde?
No, it's not. It's a painter. He did the Kiss. Let me see. It's by.
And it's a white guy.
I got it. Hang on. I'm gonna. Okay, Gustav Klimt.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, you will know. You know his work. He it kind of looks like more of those like 1920s Art Deco-y women, kind of.
Oh, like the
Victorian,
women. I
yeah.
thought, yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
That's when I saw the picture, I thought of that time period.
Yeah.
And I thought it looked like garbage. Like, she doesn't look good.
Right. It's like before we knew how to do our hair is what she looks like.
But I wouldn't have thought, that's, you know how when they wear braids or cornrows.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't look, it looks more like these kind of, like that style. I'm showing Susie right now. This kind of like Art Deco-y,
look.
Victorian.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And so I do not think
there.
their intention was to appropriate, but what do I know? And I thought, I want to talk about this on the podcast, but here's two white women being like, I don't see it. It's like the Megyn Kelly debacle where she was like, I don't understand why blackface is wrong. It's like,
whoa,
okay.
that is so wrong.
It's like, let's break it down here, Meg. But I don't want to make that mistake where I'm just like, I don't see the problem. Because what do I know? I'm white. But when I looked at it, I didn't think, that looks like an
That's what I think it is.
That's what I thought.
Gustav Klimt, like, poster, there's like a one called like Guidita, and I think it's supposed to be that.
Right.
Because it's like a woman with hair like that.
So what do you do in this case when let's say you're a well-meaning white person or photographer, artist, model, whatever, and it doesn't occur to you that this is problematic, and then there's this outcry. They apologize, and they were like, that was not our intention, and I guess that's all you can really do. Yeah. But, like, it kind of feels like the line keeps getting moved. It started with, like, the cornrows. Yeah. And then the braids.
I do think if you're a person of color and you're offended by it, you're absolutely entitled to those.
Totally.
Like, and, go ahead. Like, you can have any...
But I mean, for us, like, how do we know? Because I always am like, I don't want to be one of these dumbass people who make that mistake. But I'm not often in Vogue shoots. Right.
That is also true. Gosh, that's a real tough one.
You did a good job because you asked. About, like, hoop earrings and stuff.
Yep. I asked, and then she was like, yeah, you can wear it. It's fine.
You're good.
Yeah, you're good.
But for instance, I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah. I like supporting... boutiques on like Etsy and stuff of women of color, but oftentimes their patterns are African. Yeah. And I'll think,
can you wear
I want to support this artist.
Here's why I think you can, because that's who you bought it from. That's my thing is I think had it been a woman of color who was the photographer, I think it'd be fine.
Okay.
See? Why don't you hire people who are...
But then they would say, why don't you hire a woman of color model?
Well, agreed. Absolutely agreed. But there's also, like we know Kendall Jenner because of who she is going to sell stuff.
Yeah,
but,
true.
That gets tough because I kind of don't like that, ownership of one thing because it really, I think we can respect and embrace something that, like, for example, my grandmother really loved Mexican culture. She spent a lot of time in Mexico. She grew up in Arizona. Yeah. And she would take the train, tell me stories about how she would take the train down to Mexico and she would go dancing and it was so much fun. And she just loves the people. Yeah. And she always cared a lot too. Like she was a foster parent for a lot of kids and did it for all different races and was very, like, really embraced that culture. And so... we had a lot of things, or she had a lot of things like antiquities and things like cultural items in the home. Mm-hmm. And when she passed away, both my aunt and I were like, I think we should do like a Dia de los Muertos, like ofrenda style, like, celebration of her and like around, November 1st, October 31st, like Halloween time. Yeah. And kind of like, because she was so interested in it and because she respected it so much and not as a way to like, not like Cinco de Mayo, you're like making a mockery of it.
Right, with the sombreros.
Right. It's like she really loved that culture and she really loved their traditions. And so I felt okay with using a lot of that same style art in my own house and making like a little like thing for my grandma.
Yeah, I think that's nice.
Got
and
my
I
marigolds,
agree.
got my
A lot of
paper.
it has to do with intention.
Yeah, intention. There you go. It's like, what's the intention behind it? You know, if it's positioned as something where like, I don't know. We don't know.
We don't know.
We're just, and you know what?
White women.
Just ask. I'm like all about just asking people.
In the same vein, there was a story out recently about scholars who are investigating like the sculptures, that you see in the museums, the white sculptures. Mm-hmm. And they realize now with different technologies, they were able to detect color on them that they hadn't seen before. And so they're realizing like, these sculptures are actually supposed to reflect the skin color and clothing color of the culture in which they were developed. And so some of them are like recreating them with the appropriate colors that they're finding specks of. Yeah. And they're really beautiful and cool to look at, but there's like a debate amongst scholars, like, is this something that we should even be doing, or is it important to be like, why are we whitewashing even like Greek? They're not white.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I put this in the category of art restoration, that now we have the tools and things to do, and we're doing it to paintings.
Exactly.
So why wouldn't we do it to sculptures? It's fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Some people feel like that because of the way that the sculptures are made, even if you match the color, the way that it's absorbed into the sculpture makes it different than it would have been at the time. Mm-hmm. So it's like not an authentic recreation. Yeah. And I understand
you can say that about everything. You can say that about the frescoes, and they definitely redo those.
Yeah.
In churches all the time.
Yeah, right. I agree with you. I put it in that same category, and I was just happy to read the article, and I'll put it in the newsletter because it was really long. It was in the New Yorker, but it was like, I felt like I learned a lot about just sort of the process that when you find the sculpture, and then what do you do with it and how you investigate it. And that one thing that was really cool was they were talking about how they had to start using like different technologies to see it, the color. Mm-hmm. But then after they had basically started doing that, then their eyeballs saw it. So
this is like we were talking about with the Japanese and Russian students seeing different colors.
Yes. That like you think things are just one way or the other.
They're not.
They're not.
Don't trust your eyeballs.
Don't. That's my motto. Don't trust those eyeballs because it's subjective and you don't even know it.
Right. So, everything.
Yeah. And they were even saying like the idealization of white marble has been a product of this being a part of art culture for so long, and that like we don't need to.
Yeah, because I think to a lot of the tribal sculptures that come from Africa or come from South America, and they're often very dark wood or ebony or some kind of rich like black stone.
Yes. Yeah,
and
that's
so
what
those would be coveted in if we,
in different areas. Some of them use those color pieces of marble, and it was really cool just in the article to see what we normally are presented, and then the recreation with the color, and it really added something to it.
That. That's cool.
Thought I was going to sneeze again. It was like that. What is with me?
I don't know.
Am I allergic to you?
I hope not. I'm not even wearing any perfume.
I am not allergic to hint water. Hint water was in my pantry for the last few months. It is not anymore. I think there's one left because my family cannot quit drinking it. You know how like flavored seltzers are I don't even know how that became.
I love them because it's like none of the crap that's in all. You don't realize how much sugar, how many calories you're getting from just. We know it's important to stay hydrated, but what you drink matters.
Well, and everybody knows, like I have a fixation on soda. I go through phases. Mm-hmm. But Hint is saying drink water, not sugar, because you can get 20 delicious flavors that they have, including watermelon, pineapple, cherry, blackberry, and more. They have like one that's carbonated and one that's flat.
They even have a caffeinated, like that's naturally caffeinated. I brought that to school, and it was gone in an hour.
Split.
I put them all out, like for my fellow.
I learned that the hard way because I didn't realize that until after my son drank it.
Oh, was he bouncing off the walls?
Yeah, and I was just like, I just didn't realize.
Oops.
But they have a deal for you guys. You should try it. You can receive 36 bottles for $36 if you visit, let me get this right, drinkhint.com/braincandy and then use our promo code braincandy. So to receive 36 bottles for $36, go to drinkhint.com/braincandy and use our promo code braincandy. I am fascinated by the seltzer movement. But it is really a great alternative to the sugary and diet drinks, but it's still delicious. So give it a try and see what you think. Okay, moving on.
So remember how we were talking about selfie deaths recently?
Yeah.
Did you see the guy? This is the weirdest part. There were many odd parts of this article, but the title said, "Stunt rapper
Oh my God.
dies
Yes.
on airplane."
What a dummy.
First of all, stunt rapper?
R.I.P. though.
Yeah, all right.
Stunt rapper. Is that his? I didn't know that part.
Like that he raps in, like, while skydiving or bungee jumping off things, and like he does stunts while, and the person who was his representative said, when the story came out, said that he had trained extensively for this airplane thing.
I did see that.
Yeah.
And then, did you read about how it happened?
Yeah, the plane, there was a mechanical error, and it started to spin, like do one of those nose dives, and he was holding on to the wing of the plane, like for dear life, and it tossed him, and there wasn't enough time for him to pull the chute before he hit the ground.
I do not, that's the part that doesn't add up for me. How is there not enough time?
Because it was in a downward spiral going towards the ground, and you need a lot of...
Yeah, but
it has to open. It wasn't enough to probably open. I bet he did pull it. It just didn't open.
I would find that more believable if the plane crashed. But the pilot was fine. They landed the dang thing. How would they have enough time to land it, but he didn't have enough time to pull the dang cord?
That's so scary.
So
Well,
dumb.
it's also very easily avoidable. Stay off of the wing of airplanes.
Wait.
This just in, don't want to die in a tragic plane wing accident? Don't go on the wing of a plane.
It sounds so simple.
Oh gosh.
I don't understand. They did on Road Rules one time. They did wing walking.
Oh, don't I know it. Seems like the most terrifying.
I mean, I didn't do it. But.
No way. I'm like, no. There are so many.
Is that where you draw the line?
Yeah, I don't think I could do it now. I would have been dumb enough to,
I bet it's safer than half the stuff you did.
Oh, maybe. God,
honestly, because you don't know.
That's
how many
that's
wing deaths do we hear about? One.
That's true.
But like the things that you guys were doing, where it's like broken glass and drowning or whatever.
Yeah, simulated drowning. Jesus Christ Almighty.
Cheesy crazy.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I was not impressed with this story. And like, who needs to be on a wing to rap? Your rapping is not good enough.
It's either good or bad. It's not going to get any better if you're jumping off a waterfall.
There's been all kinds of stuff in the news, in like my feeds, I should say, about lavender. Have you been seeing these?
No,
I don't.
But it's funny because
it.
I just bought I was making my friend Mariana. Shout out to Mariana. Her like a little bath salt with like birthday gift, like nice little ritual bath thing with like some dried flowers and dried lavender and some essential oils and some nice salts. And I just bought a whole thing of lavender.
Well, it's probably good that you did then, because it was just like giving the long history. It was in the New York Times and there was a separate one in the Atlantic. Specifically about lavender. I'm like, what is going on with lavender?
It's gorgeous, beautiful, relaxing, refreshing.
Yeah. And they say that, for a long, long time, people have associated it with being calm and having a soothing effect. But then they have found recently that indeed it does have an effect on the brain that is similar to Valium.
Okay. This is kind of an argument for all my witchy stuff.
Oh, yeah. It totally is.
Right? There's stuff at work that we don't really,
Yeah, it triggers something in the nasal cavity, some sort of a nerve that then goes to your brain and is like, chilled out. Just one sniff.
I love it.
Do you?
I'm super into
What do you got cooking
apologize
today?
for everything I said about essential oils on previous episodes because now I get it. And I have so many now.
What ones do you...
You name it. I got it.
Oh, my God.
Frankincense and myrrh and sandalwood is my favorite combination. It's
Yeah,
like
that's
woodsy.
Yeah,
it's really great. And lavender and
What about
peppermint
citrus?
together
I don't
like.
get that one.
I like citrus paired with something else. Like citrus, like lemongrass. I really like that. It's not really
What do you
citrus.
do? Like throw it in the air?
No, I put it on. I've got one of those little diffusers now that makes the room smell nice.
I was wondering about that.
Oh, it's great. And then I walk in and it always smells like frankincense and myrrh in my bedroom now instead of boy farts, which is what it smelled like before.
What does your diffuser have? Like rocks in it? You know those
No.
ones with
Ooh,
like
but that would be
salt
nice.
rocks at the bottom?
No.
My hairstylist has one in her area, and it has. You put in the oil, but then at the bottom is the salt, so that purifies the air or something.
Oh,
is that a real thing?
I don't know. Maybe.
It sounds real.
Sounds lovely.
It is.
And then I put them in baths and things like that. And also, I like different combinations of them because I've been getting into like energy and chakras and all that. So
You're
like,
so weird.
I know different combinations of them to kind of like, because if we know that lavender has the similar effect of Valium that kind of calms you out and chills you out, it's not a stretch to say that different combinations or different ones can have effects on, I don't know, other areas of the brain, something that would relax you in a different way or stimulate you. Like citrus is supposed to be kind of stimulating.
Energy, yeah.
Yeah, lemon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
no, I don't think it's
phooey. Yeah, I use the throat chakra.
What is that? I don't even know what words you're saying. What is this chakra?
They're like energy centers in the body.
Oh.
You know?
What do you mean you use it, though?
Like, okay. Oh, my God. Where do I even start with this? So, like...
Is this going to be like when you tried to teach me about weed?
Yeah, maybe. Like, there are 7 different energy centers in your body that... And each one, like, when you have blockages in certain ones, oh, my God, it's like it's like the opposite of spooky. Oh, that's real funny.
Wait, do you want it to be this?
Yeah. And then, if you get those cleared out, you can feel like you can speak your truth when you have a clear throat chakra.
For real?
Well, it's kind of like a visualization thing, you know? We talk about, like, how energy flows in and out of the body and how if you can kind of visualize, like, a release of that area, like people who feel like they aren't able to really speak their truth or kind of like holding back and not saying stuff will sometimes feel tightness in their throat.
Yeah.
When they get anxiety or they get nervous.
Yeah,
and
totally.
That is the area that is connected to that like source of energy. And if you can, the same way lavender kind of makes you calm down, certain smells will make you kind of like release that tension there. Mm-hmm. And then it takes that anxiety away. And I kind of picture it as like, I do like guided meditations, and I'll picture it as like a spinning wheel around that area of like turquoisey color. And the more relaxed my throat gets, the brighter that turquoisey glow is, and the faster that little wheel spins until it kind of like clears away all that, I don't know, tension and energy and tightness and everything in there. Really, it's just like visualizing different parts of the body that react to different forms of stress. And we do that. Sometimes people get stomach aches. Sometimes people get tightness in their shoulders. Sometimes people get tension headaches. And you can kind of like control that by thinking. It's mindfulness. It's all mindfulness with a ritual.
Yeah.
And intention. That's it.
Yeah, that's part of the problem, though, is like all these hocus pocus words that people use that make everyone be like, oh, geez.
Right.
You know, like we just don't share a common language, like, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
But if you are experiencing stress and anxiety and tension in your life, then maybe you should try Talkspace, which is, I've been telling everybody about it because I've been trying it. It's an online therapy community that lets you message a licensed therapist from anywhere at any time. I have one, and I email her, and you can talk about
Susie.
Yeah. I was like, it's so funny though, because I was like, okay, like I have a pretty good sense of like my issues and past and all that jazz. And then like, actually for me, cause it's email for me, by having it be email, is totally disarming because I cannot use my bag of tricks that I would usually use.
This is great.
Where I'm like, it's fine, whatever, who cares? It's stupid.
They can't see the smile on your face as you say you're sad.
I'm definitely not telling her I'm sad, but I'll just like relay the facts.
Yeah.
And I can't be like, but whatever, who cares? And so it's really good for me. And I think everyone has a bag of tricks. And so this method is helpful because you can't rely on that. You just reporting what's going on and how you're feeling about it. And so I think Talkspace is awesome. And it allows me to do it on my own schedule. I don't have to go anywhere to do it. I can just type, an email and share what I'm feeling or talk about the past or, tips on what I want to do each day to have less anxiety or whatever.
Yeah.
The Talkspace platform has over 2,000 licensed therapists who are experienced in addressing life's challenges we all face, and they will match a perfect therapist for a fraction of the price of traditional therapy. So go to Talkspace.com/braincandy and use the code BRAINCANDY to get $45 off your first month and show your support for the show. That's Brain Candy and Talkspace.com/braincandy. And I told my friend to try it, and because I was like, I do it because I would never endorse it without trying it myself. And I really have had a positive experience. So
I'm so happy about that.
Yeah. We all need all the help we can get.
We sure
Crime
do.
in Italy, right? Like even people that are like, you know what, I'm feeling pretty good. All right, well, you might be able to feel better.
You know who else needs that? The 20 injured victims in the escalator accident in Rome. Did you see this?
No.
Dude, it was straight out of Final Destination.
What happened?
It's terrifying. So these 80 people were on this escalator. It was at a soccer stadium, and it was the Moscow versus Rome soccer match. And so it was all these Russian soccer fans that were jumping up and down. They were being real rowdy, and all of that weight and all of that jumping up and down or whatever the heck they were doing, bad behavior on an escalator, caused the escalator to malfunction and start going at a crazy fast speed. We're talking 4 times how fast it should go, and people were piling down at the bottom of the stairs, getting cut. It looks like something out of the most terrifying horror film when you see the wreckage at the end. It's like a bunch of mashed up stairs all on top of each other.
What in the hell?
It is so scary. I don't know if I can go on escalators for a while.
I am actually surprised there's not more of these incidents.
Like where it just kicks on and goes in super fast forward.
They're death traps.
Dude, I pulled it up because I need you to watch this and I need you to react while we're on here. I have the video. Press play, please. Okay, this is Susie reacting to the escalator. No, just 20 injured, thank God.
I don't know why it's not playing.
Oh, I need it to play.
Here, push play. 20 injured, nobody dead, thank God, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I mean, I really do feel like escalators are death traps. And like every time I go on with Lincoln, I'm like, this thing could collapse. I've seen video of the one time that happened where a mom went down and like, oh my God, disappeared into the abyss of the escalator and died.
I told you I saw a kid's foot get stuck in one once, and it was absolutely terrifying. And then I went to that same what is it called? JCPenney's where I was, and it was like triggering. I was like, oh my God,
like
I'm there
Elf.
Again. What if it, yes.
I always picture
totally
you being like
that.
Elf. Oh my God. Oh my God almighty.
I'm getting chills just listening. Listen to the screams.
Oh my God.
Is that not horrifying? Okay.
Who was filming it?
Right. I guess somebody
that.
somebody on the up escalator. You know, they're like next to each other. He was like at the top. I don't know. It's scary. And then the wreckage at the bottom is just like, there's definitely.
Praise the good Lord, nobody died.
Right. I saw that.
Or like a kid. What if a kid was on there? I dread to think.
Oh, and everybody just looks like they're getting thrown down a flight of stairs.
It looks like it's the videos in fast forward when it's not.
It's so scary.
Okay. Well, but what are we going to do about it?
Take the fucking stairs.
They're not always right there.
You're right.
It's a real problemo.
Oh, my God.
Like, they don't want people to take the stairs.
Everything's terrifying.
I don't know who they is.
Yeah.
Like the big escalator.
Big escalator? What if it's like the elevator company who's like, ha-ha.
Suckers.
They'll only take us from now on.
Like, okay, when you look at an escalator, It looks like steps.
Did I say elevator company?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just making sure. I got the joke.
It looks like steps, and then when they flatten out and they go behind the secret door, what does it look like back there?
The
Flat?
opposite. No, they're like also steps on the other side. So they're
How do you know that?
I'm pretty sure because
No,
it would
I
make
believe
sense
you.
that's what it would look like. That's a really good
I just thought it was
question.
flat back there.
No, I would imagine it mirrors it. So it's almost like looks like steps down, but
I bet you $100
it's flat.
Yeah, because why does it flatten at the top otherwise?
We're going to need to see so that you can get up. Because it's a curve. So then it's curving and then it's going the other way and then it gets jaggedy again.
I do not picture it like that.
Oh my gosh, we picture different things. What does the insider of an escalator look like?
I guess you're right, though, because how would it be flat for that?
Right.
Like, where is it going? What if it's just like one of the wonders of the world?
People have already Googled this, so... Oh, I think I'm right.
Oh, good. Okay.
Oh, I love that you said
we'll
good.
Well, yeah, because Sarah, I'm not an asshole like you who, like, I don't want to be right. I want to learn information. Brainiacs, are you listening?
Yeah.
This is the difference between me and Sarah.
What does it look like to you?
It's actually flat.
What? What do you mean?
Because look at the bottom of it.
Oh, it's flat. Susie, you're right.
Are you glad?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not. We're the
Wait,
opposite.
screen grab that. I want to post it. That's hilarious.
Oh, that's weird. My mind doesn't think that it gets flat. It is. You're right. It's
like
flat.
Inverts.
Yes. You're so smart.
No, I'm not. It's just we had theories. We had hypotheses or whatever.
Mine, I didn't think all the way through. Clearly.
You are so hard on yourself.
No, I'm
It is
not.
so weird.
That's funny.
But I am glad we both learned something today,
did.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That is terrible, though. When you were talking about anxiety and like the muscles and all that stuff, I did want to tell a story about a restaurant that's open in New York City where you can, at the restaurant, fish for your fish.
Oh, I'm kind of into that.
And why?
Because I love fishing.
Oh.
And nothing makes me feel more of a badass when I eat what I catch.
Yeah, okay.
And I draw the line at fish. I'm not hunting anything. Don't even ask me.
Well, I could see your point if you were catching it in a lake or something, but it's like, these guys don't stand a chance. Like,
right. And also, is it like a barrel? Is it like that expression? It's like shooting fish in a barrel? Like,
I believe that it's almost like a trough.
No. Okay, like the sushi train, you know, the sushi boats that go around? Is it like that?
Yeah, but bigger.
I'm picturing, you know that little kid game that we all had where it's like the little magnets on the fish and you have the little magnet and you wheel it in?
It's like that.
Oh, my goodness.
So you go in and you try to, catch a fish. And, of course, it's 100% success rate because they are just swimming and you have no chance to not
and
get
they're all
hooked.
starving, so they probably make them real hungry for that bait.
But it's a novelty act because when the fish comes, because you'd think, well, it's super fresh. I mean, that fish was just alive.
Yeah.
But the sushi is super tough because they are so stressed. That's what makes tough sushi is the muscles in the fish do something when they are stressed out and upset.
This is
how like Temple Grandin talked about that with cows. Yep. And this is saying same with fish when they're under stress. And that's why like sushi typically has like very specific ways of getting them to die because they want it to be tender meat.
Wow. Okay. I read an article and I'm like, there's no way this is ever going to fit into a conversation. So I didn't even write it down to remember it.
Right.
It was on a kind of plant that they've genetically modified to fight off bugs. And it like produces some kind of something like a protein or whatever it is, enzyme probably, that fights off pests.
Yeah.
These plants only grow to about a third of a height or half the height of ones without it because they're stressed. They're basically on alert all the time, thinking that they're always. So the only way that this plant naturally produces it is when the plant senses that it's under attack. So bugs will come eat the plant. The plant goes, oh, bugs are eating me. And it produces this enzyme naturally. But when they take this enzyme producing portion of the plant and like breed that, so the plant is always in that state, the plant can't fully grow to its potential. And I was like, I think that there's something that relates like this. There's a correlation between this and humans. And I was like, I feel like this is a weak argument because it's plants and somebody's going to be like, plants are different than animals. But now I take it all back. And there is truth to this. And you are basically saying the exact same thing.
Yeah, that makes total sense to me.
Yeah. So we need to stop doing that. And that shows you that stress and cortisol and all that crap is the worst. And we need to not be living in the state of fear. And we need to be more present. We need to be smelling a hell of a lot more lavender.
It's funny, but it is true.
It's freaking true.
And that's why a lot of countries even look at Americans and they're like, pump the brakes, you guys.
For real.
Like, it's not that serious. Like, you're working yourself for what? You're
and even
miserable.
Like the fear thing.
Yeah.
Like, lock your doors, buy the security system, put this up. Everything is like so scary. It's like, look, dude.
It's easier said than done,
I
though.
know.
Sorry. Because there are threats,
yes.
and you have to be smart.
Yeah.
But there is like a sense of the serenity prayer.
Yeah.
Which is about knowing what is an actual thing you can change.
Right.
And if you can change it, do it. But if you can't, you got to move on. But I think you're right, though, because if a plant is bred or whatever to always think they're under attack, then can't live up to its full potential.
Now, don't you think if you're a child
who
was born into like parents who had experienced trauma and then that gets passed on and we know that and then you experience that you also can't live up to that full potential, dude.
Dude.
Got to do a lot.
We're all doomed. I take it back.
Reprogramming.
Your fears are
no, the good thing is you can change it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if you do want fresh fish, instead of going to that weird restaurant, I recommend using HelloFresh, which if you haven't tried it yet, I really don't know what you're waiting for. We use it every single week. They have ingredients delivered to your door. You can then cook. They have classic veggie, family. It's like picky eater. Oh, I got that one that you love, the bibimbap or whatever it is called.
Yeah,
and I was like, how good could it be? It was so good.
See, I'm telling you, I'm like, that one is crazy good.
And it's in their, quote, Hall of Fame. They have like a Hall of Fame recipe section. And I was like, come on. And it was so freaking good. Right. Even Lincoln was like,
Right?
So it's really
Got
true.
All those veggies. It's great.
Simple and convenient. Oftentimes I'll sit at the counter and help Lincoln with his homework now. And Adam will cook. So we're still together. And that way, we're all doing something productive and we're still acting as a family. I just really recommend it. I know you guys are all busy and this is a great solution for that because you don't have to go to the grocery store. For $20 off each your first 3 boxes, $20 off each of your first 3 boxes for a total of $60 off. Visit HelloFresh.com/BrainCandy60 and enter BrainCandy60 as a promo code. So that's $20 off each your first 3 boxes for a total of $60 off. Visit HelloFresh.com/BrainCandy60 and enter BrainCandy60. Mm-hmm. You will love it. We're really learning a lot today.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's more candy.
This is brainy. And it's funny because what I wrote down was a lot of candy stuff.
For real?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a time for that.
Yeah.
And, there's a time for everything in a season and the Bible verse, to everything turn.
Yeah, well, I know that song.
That's based on a Bible verse.
I did not know this.
Yeah, a time
I'm not the one sitting with the PhD on the wall.
Right. We will get to the candy. Sometimes people say to me, like, what's your show about? And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Everything from quantum physics to the Kardashians. That's what I
can't
say.
answer. I'm like not good at the elevator pitch. Maybe I'll be better at an escalator
What do
pitch.
you say?
I just say...
Oh, my God. This
don't
is
even
terrible.
put me on the spot. I usually pitch your degree. Your I was like, we're real smart girls. I mean, we talk about like topics, hot topics and like funny stuff, but from a more brainy perspective.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
I forget who I was talking to about it. And they were, the stories people tend to remember are the like dildos.
Right.
So I don't know what that says about us or our
That's
listeners, but it does say that we have a lot of fun.
True. I love it.
Okay. There was this stupid thing. I'll take it down a notch.
Oh, your doorbell just rang. Is that okay? Yes. Other people are here. Okay. I don't know.
I don't like it.
Who's there?
There's nobody I want it to be.
Unless it's October 31st and you're asking for candy.
Remind me to tell you about a visitor and a funny story, but I can't tell
wait.
it on the air.
Oh, I love that.
You know. Any hoodles. Okay, so there was this thing, and I never know if these things are, like, real or not. You know, like the Now This clips. Sometimes they're political, and they'll just be like, so-and-so ripped so-and-so to shreds on the floor of Congress, whatever. And then it'll be like, Now This. I guess it's their website.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But this one was about these things that are called nose warmers.
What?
And they, like, are knit nose warmers. They go over your nose, and they have, like, a string that goes around your head. And so it looks like, you know, when people put on, like, a beak as a costume or something. Yeah. And it was acting like this was normal and acceptable.
Now, think about when you were walking from the campus.
Yeah.
You're freezing cold.
Yeah. It's called a scarf.
Right.
I like things that solve problems.
And also, we don't need another thing. Like, then it's like, where do you draw the line? Okay, so you got ear warmers, you got a nose warmer, you got what? A scarf, hand mittens.
Yeah.
I feel like you can get a all-in-one thing that does all this.
You
As
can.
a skier, I've definitely had that little black face mask thing that you put over your nose.
And think of how, here's another thing that you don't probably know as much because you're never in these climates, but when it gets cold like that, your nose runs.
Yes. Okay, gross.
Right?
Yeah, I know this.
It's bad enough that you're
Yuck.
putting a scarf
Ugh.
over your mouth and nose, but now you're just putting like on
That's
your
bizarre. I'm not into this.
schnoz. And
Who's
I was
making
like,
this?
Some lady in England, and that's why I was like, is this a joke one?
Is this like I'm knitting cat socks? Like
Yeah.
kitten mittens or something?
Kittens. Do you remember like there's been various trends that are covered on Twitter that really aren't trends, like the nose hair braiding or whatever it was. But one person will do it and then it'll be this viral thing and they'll act like it's a trend
like
when it's not.
Yeah, it's not a trend.
But I felt like, is this nose warmer thing a trend?
No, novelty.
A legitimate, like this woman's like going to go on Shark Tank and be like,
Hell no.
but maybe she really believes it. And now it's being covered by Now This or whoever. And people are like, you know what I need? A big piece of yarn on my nose to get boogers all over. And you look like a jackass, too. It's not even like it looks adorable.
And think about, like, modeling this. Is there any cool way to model a beak warmer?
I can say with authority because I watched the video and how many people were wearing them. Nobody looked good. Not one person was like, oh, okay, I see it.
No.
Just get a scarf.
Yeah.
It is a one-stop shop for neck and face warmth.
Is there anything else we're doing this with? I'm trying to think. Where it's
Like what, eye patches?
That looks ridiculous.
Oh.
But.
Yes.
What?
Well, I feel like the current eyebrow trend is something that most people will be embarrassed about in about 10 years.
The big thing. What
the
kind?
big ones. The gigantic. Yes, I know, because they're in fashion.
Right.
But because I know from like in 1998 when I went on Road Rules and had those pencil thin eyebrows, and when I play the clips now, people make fun of them. At the time,
I had those
hot
too.
stuff.
Yeah.
And this eyebrow situation, and it's even worse now because it's not like people are just not making them small. They're also like adding and make shapes, and that will not hold up.
Yeah.
I like it too, but in 10 years you're going to be like, I cannot. It's going to be the mullet of facial makeup.
Wow, okay.
What do you think it would be similar?
I don't know. I can't think of a single thing.
I think that's because you get really wrapped up in trends.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I do.
You really buy into like, oh, that looks really good.
Yeah, I do like that.
Which is totally fine.
Yeah.
Because it does at the time. But like when you look back, let's say 10 years ago, 2006, and what were you wearing?
Oh, Jesus Christ, if I know.
2008.
I was dressing very rockabilly style.
Okay, yeah, that was more like
tomboy rockabilly.
That wasn't like nationwide trend.
Right. It was more me.
You.
Yeah.
And that doesn't embarrass you because you looked super cute.
Oh, thanks.
And people
There's
still
really
do
no
that.
trend that I latched onto that was like at the time. I don't know.
There had to be.
Yeah, you'd think.
I
Butterfly
would think.
hair clips. I did that. That was
And did
so
you think those were
embarrassing.
going to hold up? Did you think at the time, like, these are going to look great in 10 years?
I was in junior high, so probably
Oh, my God. See? This is what I'm saying.
limited worldview.
In what's 2028, we're going to be like, can you believe people did their eyebrows like that?
I don't know.
Especially the makeup part where people
Yeah.
add
Yeah.
and make them gigantic
Yeah.
shapes that aren't natural in the world.
Yeah.
Because,
true.
like, Brooke Shields, she had big
Yes.
eyebrows. Natural. And, like, that Cara Delevingne or whatever her name is.
Oh, yeah.
Those are her real eyebrows.
Great.
But there's a lot of these makeup tutorial people
Right.
that
They're huge.
they do a whole situation.
Yeah. A lot of measuring, a lot of...
That is weird, Sarah.
Yeah, it is. I totally agree. In fact, I have kind of stopped doing things to mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Mostly time.
You're booked solid.
Book salt.
That's all. But her eyebrows are suffering the consequences. What else do you want to cover before we go?
I do want to, one other thing, in my Merriam-Webster deep dive. that
Oh,
I did,
yeah.
one other word that I learned that was in there, like top word of the month or whatever thing, or new word of the month. And I had never heard it even once. Do you know the term zaddy?
Never heard of that.
Me either.
Okay.
So a zaddy is
Spell it.
Z-A-D-D-Y, basically daddy with a Z.
Okay.
It's a guy you look at and immediately think, damn, that's a zaddy, which is so weird. It's like hot but older. And it's like The Rock has a nice build, but he doesn't have he's not a zaddy. It's more like my guy, Jeff Goldblum, is a zaddy. Mm-hmm. It's like older guy, well-dressed. Basically, it's like BDE, but like fashion and not...
And for the older gentleman.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But why the Z? What's that signify?
But it could also be younger because they say that that guy, Zayn from One Direction, that he's also a zaddy.
Why? Because he's a dad and he's hot?
I don't know if you necessarily need to be a dad. It's like a man with swag who's really fashionable, and it is more like
Okay,
the fashion
so it's
category.
unrelated. Yeah, because does Jeff Goldblum have kids anyway?
Yeah, I think he has 2 kids from his new marriage. I think so.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I think he's like a recent dad.
Okay.
I try to not think of him having sex with anybody except me, so.
God. Okay, so zaddies don't have to be daddies.
No.
I don't know about that.
I didn't know about it
Word
either.
of the
I was
month.
like-
I say word of nothing.
Yeah, and I was like, are people using this? And apparently they are. And I had Merriam-Webster, so you'd think it'd be like a trusted
You know
source.
what
But I was
is
like,
annoying
I do
to
not
me?
know that word, and I am not about it.
You know how I have to like mute a bunch of words on my Instagram?
Yeah.
Most of them are like synonyms for tits because I'm sick of you people commenting on my breasts. You people. It's not the
Right.
brainiacs.
It's definitely not. I don't care.
But there was one that came through the other day that I was like, wow, I did not even... I had to look it up in Urban
What was
Dictionary.
it?
I think it was twofer. Your twofers or something like that.
I have no idea what that is.
I forget. But I had to look it up and I was like, God damn it. And I didn't end up muting it, so maybe I should now that I'm announcing it. Because I thought, well, I want to be able to know who to block.
Yeah.
If somebody's going to that extra, like going so far to come up with an original term that I will see.
You think they knew you were blocking all the titty stuff and they just like came up with another word for it?
I
Is that what you're saying?
bet you that they suspect.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
because
gosh, I would have never thought about that.
I'm not one of those people that's like doing the thirst traps.
Yeah.
So then they're not going to think I want them to talk about my
Oh,
boobs.
weird. I don't know if
my
people
theory.
are putting that much thought into that.
Right. I'm giving them too much
Yeah,
credit
I think you
about
are.
it.
I think they're just like coming up because, and I feel like we should talk about this next episode. I found the list of like 40 slang words that people close to the age 40 should never use.
Uh-oh.
And I didn't even half of them I'm like, oh, should I use? And the other half I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that is. Okay. So I would love
you
to
should
talk
go
about
through
that.
that
Yes,
list.
right? And see if we use them or not.
All right. That's all for now, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review and sign up for our newsletter on thebraincandypodcast.com.
See you later.
Bye. This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Babes and Babies, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.